Potboiler Connect.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on today? How y'all feeling, man? How you feeling today? Today is Friday. Friday is always a
Yes,
good day. Friday, people are ready to get off of work. They're ready to get rid of the wear and tear for the week. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just exciting to be able to be here with y'all today. So, what's going on with you? How you feeling?
I'm good. What does that mean? What does Friday mean? It means it's another day.
I mean,
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I ain't gonna even hold you. I've been feeling that myself. Like with it's been I always say it, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, I'm blessed. This is what we ask for. But baby, it gets tiring. So Fridays, I've really enjoyed Fridays. I didn't think I would be like, oh, Friday. No, because I take a break too.
no
So when
doubt.
Friday hit, I'm like, okay, I be trying to work Saturday, but Saturday be like, nope. And I definitely ain't working on Sunday. So it is all to the good. Let me go ahead and share these to all of the groups. Y'all be seeing me and thank y'all for approving me faster than what y'all used to. Okay.
Hey,
So
look
let
at
me
that.
hit my group of people. I know.
So
I
today, what we're gonna
know.
do? We're gonna be talking about um really what this consists of, the big difference between grinding and building a business. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important to be able to talk about because we see a lot of people who do it, a lot of people who have done it. I know myself. I've definitely been able to be one of those people who were grinding inside of my business, like super hard, to the point where sometimes it was hard for me to even focus on the actual business. And what does that look like? Well, you know what I'm saying? What does that look like to be able to be a business owner versus a person who actually ends up in the end owning a job? So we definitely, I want to highlight that type of stuff today, talk about that, show people what's the difference between it. So I know you doing your posting and doing your stuff and doing your scheduling and stuff like that and trying to get that stuff out. But so, um,
I'm listening at the same time.
yeah, most definitely. So one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about the hustle and bustle, like you can become so good at your job that you're unwilling to be able to give it over. And a lot of people who own jobs, it's a difference between owning a job and owning a business, right? So most of the people who own a job, they work inside of the business every day. They have to be there. They have to micromanage it. They have to make sure that everybody's doing what it is that they want them to be able to do versus being able to be hands off and being able to not be in the business so much and then still being able to have the business be able to show up. So it's just like if I've worked so many different places for people that the boss never worked at the place that we were at. So if the
Right.
boss was to the boss was to walk inside of the building, we wouldn't have even knew who the boss was unless everybody was pointing them out and saying this is the person who owns the business. It's
Mm-hmm.
because that business owner has built it up to a place where he or she no longer has to work inside of the business. They can actually work on the business. And I always say to people, if you're working inside the business, who's working on the business? And they miss that part and they don't understand clearly what it is does that mean. So Jazzy, could you break that down to like what does that mean when you're working on a business and working in a business?
So when you're working in a business so if you have a business yourself and you're building a business and you are trying to do all the work in there, you have to be there, you have to run it, you don't have other people helping you. You have built a business that you now work for instead of having a freedom. When you work for a business, that's just like the typical, you go to a 9 to 5, you go, you do your job, you leave. You don't know who the boss is. You probably never seen, not the boss, because you got somebody that you go to and they got somebody that they go to who you never ever see. That person is a business owner who does not work their business.
Hmm.
The business owner has people that work for them, which give them freedom. You have a business that you now have created a job for, that means you are always in your business. So if you're not there, your business is closed. That's
Right.
the business that you are working.
Yeah. That that's a really that's a really good key point right there, where it's like, if you're not there and you have to close your business down, you don't have a business, you have a job. That is exactly what it is. And most people who do this, right, they set their life bills around what it is that they're making inside of their business. So if you tell them to spend money on their systems, or spend money on different marketing, or they tell them spend money on this, they say, I don't have it. And the reason why they don't have it is because they've set their lifestyle up according to their business finances that are coming in. So they set their bills up to how their business finances are coming in. So they take a paycheck and then they're just buying products. They buy products, they don't count the products, because guess what? Usually they don't have a system in place that counts the products, keeps up with the
Don't
products.
so let's rephrase that. They have their own system.
Hmm.
They only know what they know. And like you said, they have a system. We can't take that away. They have a system that they've created, but it's not an effective system.
Right. It's a system that's placed inside of their heads. It's
Yes.
not a it's and that's the thing about it. When you're a business owner and you're trying to be able to have employees, employees can't read your head. And that's why most people who own a job, in a sense, they get mad at their employees very quickly, because what happens is that they're so good at the job that they will criticize the other people inside of the job, because they're not doing it the way that they want them to be able to do it. And it's hard to relinquish
And
the
the funny,
business. Go ahead.
I was saying the funny thing about it is, if you want employees, but you feel that they're not doing it the best way, then you might need to evaluate yourself as the owner who's teaching them. Because if you know how to run your business, then you should be confident enough in your teaching to allow them to be able to run it for you.
Yeah.
I forgot where I worked, but I remember that anytime somebody walks in, they should never know who runs the business, because everybody should be running it the way that they were taught by the business owner. So
Hmm.
if somebody comes up to you, you should have the answer. You won't have all the answers as the actual business owner, but you should be able to know where to go get the answer and bring it back to them. You should at least know the basic stuff of what needs to be done. No one should ever know that that's the worker. Why is that the title of? If I walk into your business, it should be ran. If you are a business owner and you have businesses and you got somebody who's hiring for you, you should be able to walk into your own establishment and they not know that you own it.
Yeah.
It
100%.
should still function the same way when you're gone.
Yeah. And why do you think that is, that it doesn't function that way? Is it because of the communication between the
Hmm.
business owner and the actual people that work there?
Yeah, you definitely have to know how to communicate what's needed. Like you said, we are not in people's heads and vice versa. What, and I can speak from experience with the things that I know and seen working for a company. I see things different, and then they don't like me because I'm like, "Why is this not like this? Not like this, not like that, not like that." And it's not because I don't know something. It's like I can see there is a gap because you're trying to tell me to do something that you're not doing, which means there's a gap with the communication from the person over you that you're not translating down to me with how to run your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if
And
you can't communicate it, it's not going to flow. And you can't assume that the people who are hired to do the job know what your business is supposed to run like. And I feel that that's kind of like even with us doing this, right?
mhm,
People don't see what our vision is, so we can't have those expectations of people when there's something that outside looking in that they're lacking because they're not doing what it is that we expect them to do. No matter how much we lay it plain out, it's still going to revert back to whatever, and we still have to go back to like, okay, how can we do this so it makes sense?
yeah.
Is it who we're explaining it to? Are we not explaining it correctly? You have to be able to pivot at any moment.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't handle it. That's why a lot of people are like, well, everybody's not meant to be a business owner. It's like, okay, true. But if you work and you work, but don't complain about the job that you're working at either.
Yeah, that's a everybody's, and I agree 100%. I believe everybody's not meant to be a business owner. I agree, and I get that part of it. But if you're going to work somewhere, you shouldn't complain about it either. You should be happy in doing whatever it is that you want to be able to do. But like you say, it just boils down to really communication, right?
Hmm.
And I think that if you're somebody who's planning on being able to build a brand or build a business, you have to learn how to be able to be patient, because patience comes with communications. You, as a business owner, I've learned to be able to be patient with people. I mean, tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Because I've learned that, everything isn't personal. And that's where I think sometimes where a lot of people can't do the business, because what happens is they take everything personally. And you have to be able to learn how to be able to remove yourself out of the greater good of what could be able to possibly happen. And that's a hard task for a lot of people to be able to do, because letting go is a surrenderance in its own. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a very hard thing to be able to do. I remember when I had these guys, I had some people working for me and doing some stuff, and I thought that at that particular time that they just knew what it was that I needed them to do. And the communication was breaking down because I couldn't articulate what was going on in my mind to be able to translate it on paper or get them to be able to do the task that I needed them to be able to do. And in turn, it became frustrating for me. And I got frustrated with them. And so you have to learn how to be able to articulate yourself, and that comes with patience as a business owner, that comes as patience as a person. You then understand that this goal and this thing and this stuff that you're trying to do is bigger than you.
Hmm. Yeah, you have to remove yourself out. And I think that's something that a lot of people haven't learned. And I'm not going to lie. I always say it, I'm not perfect. I learn as I go. But you also have to be in those spaces of one, self development, professional development. Those are the key if you're not going to be a business owner, but at least know those two. As far as being a business owner, you do have to put yourself in those places to learn.
Hmm.
They always say, if you're the smartest person in a room, you need to go to another room.
Yeah.
So, and that is true. If you the one to know everything, that's a problem. You should be able to go into other rooms where those people know more, and then you can take the information back to then help others, because it still goes back to being a service and what we're here on earth to do, and that's to help each other. So if you like, oh nah, da 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 da, that's my business. Okay, you're right. It is yours, but what are you doing? What is your
Hmm.
purpose? What is your goal? It's going to keep being your business job.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you being a service?
Hmm.
Are you creating opportunities for other people to work with you? Because I don't really like the word work for me. I like work with you. Candy
Yeah.
does a good job at that. Candy does a really good job. She don't like being called the boss. We are her business partners. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because at the end of the day, I'm willing to listen to your ideas. I'm willing to
mhm.
listen to your thoughts. I'm willing to listen to your feelings about how we may be able to do something different. I'm, you know, you may be the person who started the situation, but you don't have to always be the one that has to have all the ideas. You can
They
be the
always say
one.
that too. They say
Yeah,
that all the time. Like you say, you may be sorry to cut you off, but that was a good one, and I didn't understand it at first. So you may be the one who started the business, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are the CEO.
right,
You
right.
might be the admin or something. You had the idea, you had the creativeness, but you probably don't know what you're doing. And somebody else who knows that part is then now the person of the business. It doesn't change the dynamic. It's just that one that's just the upper hand of that person. They have the better skill. They're like E.T. I don't know if y'all familiar with Eric Thomas, but if y'all not, tap in and learn. They had a 30-day challenge. Dope challenge that they had. I think it was back in February, March-ish, right? And they talked about how they got started, the ups and downs, like everything about it. But it all came back to them knowing what they were doing. So I think it's a flight test. I think I had to find it. But anyway, it's like you take the test to see who you are. Are you the pilot? Are you the co-pilot? Like who are you within after you take the test? So then you then go and you continue to work with your people. So it's 20/80. If you guys don't know what that means, 9 times out of 10, everybody is 80% of what they do. You need your 20 to make it 100. And this is stuff that people don't get into to know how to run a business. It's just like, okay, I get the idea. Let me go get registered. Sometimes you're not even registered. Let me get the credentials I need. Let me get it together. And then bam, you go. But then now you got this problem. People don't want to work. I can't find good people. Did you do your part?
Yeah.
You got to be it so you can attract it.
Hmm. It's not such
Even if
thing
you
as,
just
yeah,
go ahead.
bad work. I mean, trust me, it's way more bad communication than it is bad workers. And I say that because I'm a witness of it for myself to be able to say, you know what? Um, I was giving out bad communication. It wasn't that I had bad workers, I had bad communication. And
Oh my
learning,
God, I remember that. As you say that, I remember that conversation.
yeah,
I
because
remember it.
at the end of the day, right? The employees are going to go on about their way if you can't keep them, right? They're going to
Yep.
go on about their way and they're going to go do something else. They're going to go get another job. They're going to do something. You're going to be the one still there and you're going to still have to figure it out. And at some point, you have to figure out that the level of communication, if you keep losing people and you keep going through that same cycle, the only thing that changed in the business was the employees, but the only thing that didn't change was you.
Yep.
And so you have to be able to say, you know what? Let me take full responsibility for whatever is going on in my business at this particular time, because that's the hardest part for people, to be able to take the full accountability of being able to say, I messed up. And it's okay to be able to mess up, because if you can never level up in anything in life. You can never level up if you don't take responsibility or quote unquote make a mistake. I never say everything is a mistake, because it's actually happening in real time and it's happening to you and not for, I mean, it's happening for you and not to you. And
You have
it's
to
all
take
about,
accountability.
yeah,
Accountability. Not only be responsible, you got to be accountable for you and that be like, stop pointing a finger. Personal and business, you have to take accountability. And it is okay to be in a wrong about something. Business, business Life, period, you can't do alone. I don't know why people think that they can. Life alone, you can't do alone. Business, you really can't do alone. And people think, oh, this is my business. None of this stuff in this world is any of ours. So that's one thing I do like about like what it is that we do within the groups too, with teaching across the board. Because if you don't understand or have God at the head of your life, period, nothing for you is going to work how you think it is. And I bring it back to you can't do anything by yourself if you're trying to build anything.
Yeah.
You have to have other people in order to build. So you can be this me, look at me person all day long. Okay.
Yeah.
When you look a year, two, three, four, five later, and it's still just you doing the same thing, and you're like, why are you living it up? Why did
You'll know why.
you
You'll
don't know
know
why?
why. You'll know why. And it was something that never changed. Like the business, it never changed. It was you. You never changed. You never tried to pivot and never said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to be able to receive quote unquote criticism. I'm going to learn how to be able to receive anything that's thrown my way because honestly, to be honest with you, the person who runs the building business has to have the most character. They have to be the person that's going to be able to take anything that's going to come in and not take it personal because and that's another note and another mindset to be able to teach because I've had, like I say, I've had to learn inside of business, and people will say, "You did this, or you did this." I'd be like, this isn't personally me that they're talking to. They're not personally talking to me. It's actually a self reflection of something else that may be going on. But let me see how I can help this person in their time of fear or their time of anxiety of what there is that they're feeling about the situation at this particular time and not take it as they're talking to me because personally, they don't even know me. So it's not even about me. They're talking about whatever service that was rendered, or they're talking about how our business is being ran. And sometimes, as a business owner, you have to be able to say, you know what? Maybe I can learn something from this situation. I can learn how to fix something that may be wrong with my systems and how I'm dealing with people versus taking it as if they're talking to the person. And that's
Yeah.
where I think a lot of miscommunication, because like I said, people who do business with me or have rendered my services, they don't know me personally. They don't know me personally, and I don't know them. So me taking it personal isn't even a real thing that I should even be doing. I shouldn't even get involved in thinking about them personally attacking me. They it's not even real. I don't even personally know these people. So, that's a science in its own to be able to understand that, like I am a
I, I,
business
I
owner.
like I like that you're talking about that because one thing I did learn, which one I tell you, I'm so glad I went through. It was a challenge. It was a 30-day challenge. And when I say I'm glad I went through it, because I shared it with a lot of people to go through it with me, but because they said bring a friend, bring a business partner, bring whoever you know who this could work for, right? I went through it, didn't really have nobody to talk to from it, so I talked to one of the people in the group. But what I'm glad I did, because what they talk about is having difficult conversations, right? Because you're going to have them. This is where it go back. You can't do this alone. You are going to have uncomfortable, you're going to have difficult conversations, and you're gonna have to learn how to deal with it. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to get in your feelings and get out your feelings because you're still human. You're gonna have them, but it's business. So it goes back to like taking a personal out. It is business. And that's a lot of where small businesses, I ain't gonna say small businesses, period, because you have those people where I'm the boss.
Hmm.
Okay. You can't run it without the people working. You still need the legs, you still need the arm,
Yeah.
you still need all this stuff. So you have to learn how to communicate stuff and be out of your feelings, and vice versa. If something is being told to you, you can't take it personal. If you do, go and reflect, like, were they trying to help, or was it me, or like what? Because it's business.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be nothing personal within the business. So that was one thing I'm glad I learned a lot. It was, like I said, it was really, really, really good. But you have to be disciplined too to take stuff like this to level up. Cause 6 o'clock in the morning every day for 30 days to be on a call, you have to invest in something if you want to build your business. If you are around the same people, like I said, you can't be the one that know everything.
Yeah.
You cannot.
I mean, the
And
reality, you know what? I think people, well, and this is, I can only speak for myself. I'm always just speaking to myself and always trying to be able to understand it. You know, through all the journeys that I've been through as a business owner and all the things that I've been through as having employees and losing them and not being able to communicate with them and taking the responsibility of understanding that, the one thing that I think a lot of business owners and people who are, like we say, quote unquote, now owning jobs, they don't want to go and get training
owning
to
jobs.
be able to they don't want to be able to get training to be able to
Hmm.
do this. They think they know everything.
Yep.
And you know, once you become a person that's a know-it-all, you know everything but the right things. And that's the reality of it. Is it's like, you know, you gotta, I don't, you know, I don't like the mindset that I know it all. And sometimes people think, to me, they would be like, oh, you think you know everything? I'd be like, no, I don't. That's the
I
total
hate that.
opposite
I
of
hate
what
that.
I think
And
about
I
myself.
just, it's, you know what the thing is, and I sometimes I stay quiet with certain stuff because I don't anymore. Let me stop. I don't. The spiritual journey has told me different stuff. You got to say it. I don't care how you feel, but I always went through that. Like, you think you know everything, but then when you ask me something, I get an answer. I don't think I know everything, but if you're asking me something and I happen to know something, I'm sorry that if that comes off to you, that's something within you that you don't like about me. That's a you problem. That ain't my problem. And stuff like that, you're gonna have to learn how to disconnect the two. Because now I just be like, oh, okay.
But that also comes with, though, you know what I'm saying, to be so that comes with compassion, though, right? Because though I do understand that, I understand that someone's feelings aren't mine, I still care. And I care enough to grow from it, because the thing of it is that I'm not internalizing their feelings, but I understand their fear. I understand their anxiety. I understand their worry. I understand it because I've been there. And I was at a place in my life where I didn't understand when people were didn't feel like they were feeling my feelings. I don't have to feel somebody's feelings, but I do have to be considerate of them, because I do understand what it's like being in that mindset and not feeling like you're being heard. So I do, you know what I'm saying? I don't internalize it. It's a difference. I don't internalize it, but I do have compassion and I do have a heart for it. You know what I'm saying? Now, is it going to change the way that I say, if regardless if I said no to you, I'm going to probably say no to you, but I may change how I said no to you the next time I talk to you, because I'll be considerate of the way that you internalize things. You know what I'm saying? And but my no isn't going to change. It's going to stay the same. It's not going to be yes because you got these feelings about something, but it will be a different way that I would approach, because I've learned that you know, especially coming from the neighborhoods that I know I came from, I could be very blunt about things, or it can come off like very nonchalant to people. And so, just as a person that runs a business and learned through some of my trials and my tribulations that I do care about people's feelings, but I don't care about saying no. That's, I guess that's the difference. I don't care about saying no, but I do care about people's feelings. And I think that's a balance that you have to be able to have when you are running a business. You have to be able to say no to people, regardless if they're going to cry about you doing it. You know what I'm saying? You have to not be able to be involved, but you have to be able to be evolved enough to be able to be like, all right, cool. This is what it is, but I got to do this. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, I think that, like you said, man, this is a really good topic to be able to touch on, and I think we should continue this going into next week. And just want people to be able to think about this. You know, are you owning a business or are you owning a job? And really sit down and really think about that. Where if you're doing the work 24/7, and yeah, you may be getting results, and I get it. You may be getting results, but they're physical results that are going to lead to a lot of physical work. That's going to lead to something that's never. You ever think those businesses that you see the person work all the time,
Hmm.
and then they
It's like,
never.
what is the long term goal? Like, what are you
Yeah,
trying to do?
man, and they have nothing to leave to the family. And the people who saw them work every day, that love them, have no clue on how to run that business.
Hmm.
They don't even have a clue on how to run their business. So when they die, the business dies with them.
And that's another thing too. And it happens a lot in family, and I'm gonna say it family business because you do see it a lot. Um, with family businesses, they shouldn't always go down to the family.
No, not at all.
People do not understand that at all. And you see it a lot in businesses where they do have them, and then once something happens, the family members give it to somebody who's not in the family, and then the family like, "Oh, that's messed up. So and so." No, so and so knew that their child, their niece, their nephew, their cousin, their auntie, their partner couldn't handle the business. So they
Right.
had to make a business move.
Decision. You're right.
That's the difference. And sometimes the ones under them don't want the business. That's why
Nope.
they do other stuff.
For real. That's 100% right. People always be like, I'm building this up to be able to lead to my kids. Let me tell you something. Your kids might not never love what it is that you do.
And
But
that's okay.
and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And but what you can do is, you know, you could leave them, maybe leave them stock inside of the business. You could leave them a percentage of whatever it is, but they don't have the right to be able, they can, you can leave them money out of it, whatever. However, it's so many different ways you could be able to help your children out. But one thing you should never do is just give your kids a business based off of the fact that they're your kids. They don't know how to run it. It doesn't make sense to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't that's just the ideology of thinking that I want to leave something behind for my children. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with leaving something behind for them, but if they don't know how to be able to run a business that you're actually in charge of, it doesn't make sense to leave it to them. That's not real. It's going to crumble anyway. It's going to crumble.
Mhm.
It's like how I tell people, you know, if you give a poor man $1 million and you never changes his mindset, he'll be broke within the next couple of months because he's going to run through that money because he doesn't have a mindset change. He only has money in his pocket. And people think that money in their pocket is half of their problems, but most of their problems is that they never have a mindset shift. And that's what we're talking about for us as being a business owner and being a person who can be able to who's actually working inside of your business. So let's continue this conversation next week, man, and keep it going. Um, what up? What's up? What's up with you, man? How you feeling? How y'all feeling? We appreciate y'all being able to tune in today. It's been definitely a good Friday. I hope y'all have a great Friday. I hope that your business be able to thrive. I wish y'all the blessings on your life that you guys are looking for in your business. But this Friday, this weekend, as we go off into, just think about this type of stuff. Like, am I a business owner or am I owning a job? And which one do you want to do? Because either one of them is something good. But if you're trying to leave something behind for your children, or if you're trying to leave something behind that's going to live on in legacy longer than you're going to have to become a business owner, and that comes with a mindset shift, right?
Yes, sir. So, on that note, go ahead and follow us here on Facebook at Potbelly Connect Community Group, where we have, we help you with your mind, body, soul. But as you can see at the bottom, it is potbellyconnect.com/free members, which is inside of our CRM system where we teach, have courses, and communicate kind of like our Facebook off Facebook.
No
I
doubt.
like that. If you would like to have conversations with us, you can go to a potboilerconnect.com/podcasters and become a guest on us as we talk about your business and highlight you in what it is that you are doing. Super excited for Tuesday's episode to come out with our new partner. Um, but as far as that, make sure y'all tap in. If y'all would like to know more about Serum Systems, go to popboilerconnect.com and schedule your free demo, and we can show you more behind the scenes as we continue. Like you said, next week with this topic, we'll start to show more tools with how you can start a business and scale your business.
No doubt. With that said, peace, y'all. Y'all have a good Friday, man. Peace and blessings, y'all.
See ya.
Potboiler Connect.